So I got tagged by Tennessee Deerstalker Outdoors with 3 questions. How I got into hunting and what was my best and worst hunts. And then the Topwater King tagged me with these same 3 questions. I guess I better answer them. Along with the additional question of what was my favorite video to make. Let's get started. So how I got into hunting. I always grew up knowing that I wanted to hunt, so there was no specific event that got me into hunting. My family has always hunted deer, so I was really kind of obsessed with the topic before I was able to pick up a rifle and go do it myself. I learned a lot about shooting through 4-H programs where my dad was one of the instructors. As far as hunting goes, I learned about all those methods and tactics when I started. I learned almost everything I know about grouse hunting from my dear old dad. And I really credit everyone at deer camp for teaching me about deer hunting. I still hunt with most of those guys today. They're just 25 years older now. I guess I am too. So my best and worst hunts. Well, this is a lot harder to answer than I thought it would be, because every hunting trip I go on is a good one. If there's a gun in my hands and I'm out in the woods, I'm a really happy guy. But I have been able to pin down 2 trips that stand out. My best hunting trip isn't actually the one where I shot my biggest deer. It was actually a duck hunting trip I went on a couple years ago. Now, I hunt ducks on a chunk of private land in northern Minnesota. There's a beaver dam on this land where we typically set up. On this trip, we went up there and found that there was no water in the beaver dam. It was dry. In fact, every dam we went to was dry. Apparently, the beavers had moved way upstream and blocked the water flow in an inaccessible place. And that left our little duck pond a mud hole. The trip wasn't a total loss, though. Typically, we duck hunt in the mornings and then grouse hunt for the rest of the day. But while we were out grouse hunting in the evening, we noticed something. There were a whole bunch of wood ducks flying into one place to roost. See, a culvert that went under the road had become blocked, and this flooded a whole bunch of woodland. And there were about 70 wood ducks that had taken up temporary residence there. So now duck hunting was back on the table. All these ducks were flying over a certain field when they were going to or from wherever they were feeding during the day. So we made a plan. My dad, brother, and I strung out along this field in the morning and waited. Sure enough, at first light, here come these ducks in flights of 3 to 10, screaming across this field at treetop level. We opened up on them and it sounded like a thunderstorm, and it started raining ducks. My brother had his bird dog running all over this field retrieving ducks. We could not keep our shotguns fully loaded, and you could hear the farm animals across the highway go crazy. It was chaos for 10 minutes. So my worst hunt. Well, I did make a video a while back where a pack of wolves scared off the deer I was hunting. I'm gonna select this hunt as the worst one. And it's not because of what happened with the wolves. In the end, it was kind of neat to see nature in action. It's because of what happened the following evening. See, I went back and sat in that stand the next day too. When it was getting closer to dark, I could hear a couple of deer coming through the woods. And right before they emerged from the tree line, I drew my bow back. It was 2 does, and right after they emerged from the tree line, they stopped. It was a perfect shot. But as I was releasing that arrow, they started moving again, and the arrow landed too far back. On the hindquarters, actually. I heard a big snap when it hit, and I'm pretty sure that was the sound of a femur breaking. But anyways, these deer went out in the field 60 yards away and started feeding. One of them with an arrow sticking out of it. Not a good situation. Now, I had never practiced at that distance, but I had to do something, so I took another shot. At this point, there was nothing I could do to make the situation worse. And that arrow missed just inches low. Well, this spooked the deer, and they ran off into the woods. I could hear that aluminum arrow clanking off of trees for quite a while, and my heart sank, because I knew that I had failed to dispatch this animal in a quick and humane manner. And after hours of searching, the only blood we were able to find was the pool of blood it had left in the field while it was out there feeding. I had to leave that deer out there somewhere with a broken leg to be chased down by wolves. Free meal for the wolves, yeah, but I felt so guilty about not being able to recover that deer that I have never shot my bow again after. And this was over 10 years ago. In all my years hunting, that was probably my biggest screw up. But anyways, let's move on. So what was my favorite video to make? You know, with this question, it was just too hard to narrow it down to one, guys. If a video isn't fun for me to make, I just don't make it. I make it a point to only make videos of things that I really enjoy doing. Otherwise, making these videos would just be a chore. And I consider YouTube to be an extension of a hobby that I already enjoy. So any video you see of me where I have a GoPro strapped to my head and I'm out there hunting or fishing or tromping through the woods, those are my most fun videos to make. because I get to relive those moments and then share them with you guys. So now that I've answered these 4 questions, I guess I get to pass it on to someone else, right? Let's go with Chip's Outdoor Channel. I'm sure he's got some great stories to tell. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you for watching and your continued support. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with everyone under the sun. I'll see you in the next video.